Horizontal lifelines. When installing your horizontal lifeline, ensure that you have the meat and bones of the structure. Just like we discussed in the previous modules, we want to ensure that we're indeed attaching to the center mass of your roof joist or your roof truss. Once you've established that and you have the proper anchor point that you want to utilize, then you can hook up your horizontal lifeline. This particular horizontal lifeline is made by Petzl and can be found on elevatedtasks.com underneath the products section. You're safely traversing the ridge to connect from one anchor point to the opposite anchor point all the way at the other end of the ridge. Also keep in mind that all horizontal lifelines have to be limited to 60 feet or less. Now that you've properly installed your horizontal lifeline and you tighten the tension and slack up on it, you can attach your carabiner or trolley system that will allow you to traverse horizontally. In this instance, we're going to use a heavyweight carabiner and a piece of our 11 millimeter static line lifeline. We're going to put a figure 8 hitch into it and ensure that the tail end will not go anywhere. Then attach it to our carabiner and as part of our PFA system, we're going to attach a prusik hitch to our lifeline that will be attached to the horizontal lifeline. That prusik will now go onto my sternal attachment because it's 2 feet or less and it's rated at the proper pound rating. Then as always, I'm going to ensure that it is correctly seated and I'm going to clean it up prior to using it. I'm also going to attach a Petzl rig system on my belt loop area of the harness. That's going to be sitting below my lifeline attachment that's attached to my sternal ring. This Petzl rig will allow me to traverse the rooftop, and I'm primarily relying on that as a positioning device while I still have my PFA system hooked up on my sternal. This type of system will allow me to inspect multiple areas along the rooftop, at the dormers, the soffits, the soil stack exhaust vents, the roof vent covers, chimneys, take photographs, measurements, go down both sides of any dormers, flip your line all the way across the ridge to the opposite end of the roof without having to take any of my apparatuses off and get to both sides of the dormer on the opposite side of the roof. Notice the anchor point we have on one side is the Guardian Halo anchor point with the chain attachment, and we have it properly seated in place with the GRK structural leg screws, which are directly in the center of the roof joist. Here's the Petzl horizontal lifeline with the tension properly taken into account and the lifeline tied off so nobody can accidentally loosen the temporary horizontal lifeline. We have our other anchor point on the opposite side, which is similar to the Guardian Halo and properly seated with the same style structural lag screws. When locating the roof rafters, you can start by doing the knock test on the roof and then follow up with one of the other tools that we showcased. As always, if you can inspect the interior of the attic to ensure that those roof trusses are not scissored together, there's no water, fire, smoke, or mold damage, now you're good to go and not going to be worried about putting your life on that roof.